Creatine is one of the most widely used supplements in the fitness industry, particularly among athletes and bodybuilders looking to improve performance and increase muscle mass. However, despite its popularity, many people are taking creatine the wrong way, which can limit its effectiveness or even lead to unwanted side effects. The purpose of this speech is to explain the correct way to take creatine, highlight common mistakes people make, and provide a clearer understanding of how to maximize its benefits for both performance and overall health. First, it's important to understand what creatine is and why it's so widely used. Creatine is a naturally occurring compound found in small amounts in foods like red meat and fish, and is also synthesized by the body from amino acids. It's stored in the muscles as phosphocreatine, where it helps to produce adenosine triphosphate, ATP, the primary source of energy for high-intensity activities. When you perform activities like sprinting, weightlifting, or other explosive movements, your body uses ATP for fuel. However, the body's ATP stores deplete quickly, usually within a few seconds of intense activity. Creatine supplementation helps replenish these stores faster, which can increase performance during short bursts of intense physical activity. One of the most common mistakes people make when taking creatine is not following the recommended dosages. Creatine is typically taken in two phases, a loading phase and a maintenance phase. The loading phase involves taking a higher dose of creatine for a short period of time to quickly saturate the muscles with creatine. During this phase, users are generally advised to take about 20 grams of creatine per day, divided into 4 doses of 5 grams each, for 5 to 7 days. After the loading phase, individuals move into the maintenance phase, where they typically take around 3 to 5 grams per day to maintain elevated creatine levels in the muscles. The mistake many people make is either skipping the loading phase or not taking enough creatine during this period. Some people may opt to skip the loading phase because they've heard that it's not essential or that it could lead to water retention. While it's true that skipping the loading phase will still result in creatine saturation over time, it may take a longer period, sometimes up to 3 to 4 weeks, to reach the same level of creatine in the muscles as someone who uses the loading phase. Skipping this initial phase may delay the benefits of creatine supplementation, which is especially frustrating for those looking to improve their performance in the short term. Another common mistake is not sticking to the maintenance dose after the loading phase. Some people mistakenly believe that taking more creatine will yield better results, but this is not the case. The body can only store a certain amount of creatine, and taking more than the recommended dose will not increase muscle saturation. Instead, the excess creatine will be excreted in the urine, meaning you're essentially wasting your money. By taking the maintenance dose of 3 to 5 grams per day, you can maintain elevated creatine levels in the muscles without overloading your system. On the other hand, there are also people who only take creatine during the loading phase and then stop once they feel they've hit their peak. The key to sustained benefits from creatine is consistent use. Taking creatine on a long-term basis helps ensure that your muscles remain saturated, which can contribute to increased performance over time. Stopping creatine after the loading phase can lead to a gradual decrease in muscle creatine levels, and the effects will diminish. Another common mistake in taking creatine is failing to hydrate properly. Creatine has a unique property in that it draws water into the muscles, leading to water retention. This is one of the reasons people often report gaining a few pounds during the first week of creatine supplementation. While some of this weight gain is due to water retention, it can still lead to dehydration if you're not drinking enough fluids. It's critical to drink adequate water when taking creatine, particularly during the loading phase, to prevent dehydration and to support the increased volume of fluid in your muscles. For this reason, if you are taking creatine, it's advisable to drink more water than usual, especially around workouts. Dehydration can lead to negative side effects, including cramps, fatigue, and poor recovery. Moreover, staying properly hydrated helps the kidneys filter excess creatine and other byproducts that may accumulate in the body. Those who fail to drink enough water may also experience bloating, digestive discomfort, and an overall feeling of heaviness, which can hinder performance rather than help it. Another issue that can affect the effectiveness of creatine is when people take it at the wrong times. Timing plays a role in how well creatine works for performance enhancement. Many people think they can take creatine at any time during the day and still experience the same benefits. However, research suggests that taking creatine shortly before or immediately after a workout is the most effective way to optimize its impact. This is because your muscles are more receptive to nutrients after exercise, which is the optimal time to replenish ATP stores and help with muscle recovery. The post-workout window is when the body is actively rebuilding muscle tissue, making it an ideal time to take creatine. Taking creatine in the morning, before bed, or at other times of day might still offer some benefits, but it may not maximize the effects that creatine has on strength, power, and endurance. By taking creatine around your workout, you ensure that the supplement is actively contributing to your performance during the time it's most needed. Another area where people commonly go wrong is by taking creatine with the wrong types of beverages. Creatine is often consumed by mixing it with water, juice, or a pre-workout supplement, but some individuals may make the mistake of mixing it with caffeine-intended drinks like coffee or energy drinks. This is a problematic combination because caffeine can act as a diuretic, which increases fluid loss and could counteract the hydrating effect that creatine has on the muscles. Combining caffeine with creatine may reduce the overall effectiveness of both substances. While there's no clear evidence that caffeine directly negates creatine's effects, it's a good practice to avoid excessive caffeine when supplementing with creatine, particularly around the time you plan to take your dose. If you rely on caffeine to boost your energy for workouts, consider taking it at a separate time to avoid the potential for dehydration or diminished results. Another mistake people make when using creatine is choosing the wrong type. Creatine monohydrate is the most researched and widely used form of creatine, and it has been shown to be effective for improving performance and increasing muscle mass. However, many people are tempted by other types of creatine that are marketed as superior, such as creatine ethyl ester, creatine hydrochloride, or buffered creatine. While these variations may promise quicker absorption, fewer side effects, or less water retention, there is limited research to support these claims. In fact, some alternative forms of creatine may actually be less effective or more expensive than creatine monohydrate. Creatine monohydrate remains the gold standard for creatine supplementation, as it is not only the most researched, but also the most affordable option. If you're using a different form of creatine and not seeing the desired results, switching to creatine monohydrate may be a more effective approach. Another common issue people face when taking creatine is experiencing digestive discomfort, including bloating, gas, or an upset stomach. This issue can often be attributed to taking too much creatine at once, or not properly mixing it with the liquid. Taking large doses of creatine in one sitting can overwhelm the digestive system, leading to uncomfortable side effects. To avoid this, it's recommended to split up your creatine doses throughout the day rather than taking a large single dose. For example, instead of taking 5 grams all at once, you could divide it into smaller doses of 2.5 grams, taken twice a day. Additionally, make sure to thoroughly dissolve the creatine in water or another liquid. Creatine that isn't fully dissolved can sit in your stomach in its powder form, which can also lead to discomfort. Taking creatine with a carbohydrate-rich beverage like fruit juice may enhance its absorption and help reduce the chances of gastrointestinal issues, as insulin can assist in driving creatine into the muscles. Creatine is a powerful supplement that, when used correctly, can improve performance, increase muscle mass, and enhance recovery. However, many people are making mistakes that prevent them from reaping the full benefits of this supplement, from not properly following the dosing recommendations to neglecting hydration choosing the wrong timing or type of creatine, and failing to account for digestive discomfort. There are many ways to take creatine incorrectly. By understanding how to properly use creatine, you can ensure that you're maximizing its potential and improving your athletic performance or fitness goals.